Good morning and welcome to the Board of County Commissioners regular meeting. Today is Tuesday, June 10th. We do begin each of our meetings with an invocation. This morning we have Jeff Anderson from the Road Church. Do I see Mr. Anderson? Okay, well I do not see Mr. Anderson, so I'm going to ask if Commissioner Williams would lead us in that invocation. We invite you to stand and join us.
Our Father in heaven, we're so thankful to be here today. We are thankful for our country. We're thankful for our federal government and our state government. We're thankful for our law enforcement. We are thankful for the safety we enjoy in our community. Please bless that we may be able to have a good meeting. Please bless Commissioner Bremer as she moves on to new opportunities and her family, that they may be successful. And we are so thankful to have served with her for these past years. And this we say in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
And I believe we have a special guest here this morning, Struthers Bremer, who will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much. We are on item 3.
Item number 3 is staff emergency items, and I'm unaware of any staff emergency items today.
Item 4.
Item number 4 is changes, postponements, and notice of the next meeting. I'm unaware of any changes or postponements to today's agenda, and the next meeting will be Thursday, June 12th at 9 o'clock for land use.
Item 5.
Item number 5 is the consent calendar, including items 5A through 5J5.
Okay, is there anyone here who would like to speak on an item on the consent calendar? Seeing none, I'll bring it up to the dais for comments or a motion.
I would move approval of the consent calendar.
Second. That's been moved and seconded. I'll call the roll. Commissioner Bremer. Aye. Commissioner Weissong.
Aye.
Commissioner Applegate.
Aye.
Vice Chair Williams.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. That passes 5-0. Item 6.
Item number 6 is a proclamation recognizing Elder Abuse Awareness Day 2025. Holly Williams, Vice Chair, Board of County Commissioners.
I move the following proclamation recognizing Elder Abuse Awareness Day 2025. Whereas June 15th has been designated as World Elder Abuse Awareness Day to shine a light on the problems of physical, emotional, and financial abuse of older adults. And whereas the El Paso County Board of County Commissioners, the Department of Human Services, and our community partners recognize that senior citizens are valued members of our society. And whereas abuse, neglect, and exploitation inflicted on the vulnerable aging population is an ever-increasing problem that crosses all socioeconomic groups. And whereas El Paso County is designated by the state of Colorado as an alternative response pilot county, which aims to further enhance family-centered and individualized services, strengthening the support systems of those who are at risk for or experiencing neglect and abuse, as well as driving improvements for the entire state. And whereas combating mistreatment of older adults will improve the quality of life for all senior citizens in El Paso County and will allow them to live as independently as possible and contribute to the life and vibrancy of our county. And whereas it is with thanks to community partners that we recognize their contributions in preventing abuse, neglect, and exploitation before it happens by developing community-based prevention, awareness, education, and training programs. Now, therefore, the Board of El Paso County Commissioners hereby recognizes June 15th, 2025 as Elder Abuse Awareness Day in El Paso County and urges all El Paso County citizens to join in celebrating the many and varied contributions and accomplishments of our older residents on this day and throughout the month of June. Done this 10th day of June, 2025 at Colorado Springs, Colorado, the Board of County Commissioners of El Paso County, Colorado. Carrie Geithner, Chair, Holly Williams, Vice Chair, Corey Applegate, Member, Cammie Bremer, Member, Bill Wysong, Member, and attested to by Steve Schleicher, our County Clerk and Recorder.
Second. Okay, that has been moved and seconded, and I believe we have a couple of speakers here, beginning with Mr. Bunn.
Andrew Bunn, Deputy Executive Director with the Department of Human Services. Most nerve-wracking part of all of this is writing my name in this book, but I will do that now. So thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Commissioner Williams, and thank you, Board. I have a brief thing I wanted to share before turning it over to one of our managers. And I just wanted to start again by thanking you for recognizing elder abuse awareness. Health, safety, well-being for senior citizens as valued members of the community. I just want to say that again. Health, safety, and well-being for senior citizens as valued members of the community. Sounds like a simple aspiration, but an engaged community is vital to realizing this vision. For that reason, I want to take a moment to thank the many partners who collaborate to serve this purpose every day. Law enforcement agencies, Pikes Peak Area Coalition of Government and the Area Agency on Aging, Silver Key Senior Services, Pikes Peak Elder Abuse Coalition and the Elder Justice Center, the Long-Term Care I always mess up this word, Long-Term Care Ombudsman, the Resource Exchange, the senior centers across the county, and I'm sure I'm leaving out a few. All of these are important to realize this vision, and many of them are here today as well. With that, it's my honor to turn it over to our Adult Services Manager, Laquina Allen, who helps lead this work every day with dedication and compassion. Thank you all again. Laquina.
Good morning, and thank you all for gathering today in support of a community united to prevent mistreatment and protect our at-risk adults. My name is Laquina Allen, and I have the honor of serving as the Adult Services Manager in El Paso County, overseeing the Adult Protective Services units. Since I was a child, I recognized that my passion was to care for others, choosing to spend time helping my grandmother instead of going outside to play. I didn't play with the other kids, and they thought this was weird, but to me, I saw it differently. There was something about her that fascinated me, and I truly valued her wisdom. That same passion fuels our APS teams today. Each of us come to this work with different experiences, but we are united in one purpose. I'm proud to work alongside such a committed team that gives 100% every day to ensure at-risk adults are safe, respected, and treated as a valued member of our community. But we don't do this work alone. APS relies on a network of incredible partners, many whom are here today. Your support, dedication, and collaboration make our work possible. We sincerely thank you all for the uplifting pieces that you do to protect vulnerable adults across El Paso County. We understand the responsibility we hold and the trust our community puts in us, which is why one of our key goals is to expand the outreach and training efforts to better inform mandatory reporters and the community partners about the roles and resources that APS can provide. Through ongoing collaboration, we strive to enhance and not duplicate these efforts, but recognize that we can assume, or we can't assume, that anyone else will step in and these individuals will be okay on their own. By combining creativity, compassion, and shared commitment, we're finding more effective ways to prevent elder abuse and ensure at-risk adults receive the support they need. Thank you to everyone here today and those supporting online who recognize that the reality of elder abuse, neglect, and exploitation faced by our older adults and individuals with disabilities is a very essence why APS is a reminder that this issue is real. It's ongoing and deserving of our full attention. If you suspect mistreatment or elder abuse, I urge you to contact APS by calling 719-444-5755 or emailing adultreportingaps@elpasoco.com. You can also report to local law enforcement. Your voice could be the one that makes the difference. Thank you again for your time, your advocacy, and your commitment to protect those who are most vulnerable in our community. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I believe we also have someone here from the Pikes Peak Area Agency on Aging.
Good morning, Chair Geithner and commissioners. Thank you for having us here today. I'm Melissa Martz, and I'm with the Pikes Peak Area Agency on Aging, but I'm also the chair of the Pikes Peak Elder Abuse Coalition. And as has already been mentioned a couple of times, we have so many strong partners in the community who are working to end elder abuse in our region. So the Elder Abuse Coalition represents that. And I wanted to take just a few minutes to kind of highlight that. But first, I want to share that we are celebrating our 20 years as a coalition. A lot of folks, I think, are probably surprised to hear that. And, you know, to know that for 20 years, there have been a group of professionals collaborating. I've only been the fortunate beneficiary of this group for the last 6 years, and I have learned so much and appreciated the expertise of these professionals just beyond words. And the theme for World Elder Abuse Awareness Day is Beyond Age. And in front of you, I had the benefit over the weekend of attending the Colorado Senior Games. And there's a picture of an 81-year-old man who is doing the pole vault. And for those who don't get to see the picture, I apologize, but it is really impressive. It shows a man, he's a little taller than myself, and he is clearing a bar that is probably about 17 feet high. And again, for older adults who want to live beyond age, the Colorado Senior Games this past weekend really highlighted that. And there weren't very many people there to tell the story. And I bring it up because I think a lot of times we jump to the conclusion that being beyond age means being super physically fit, mentally fit, and that's great for people to go that route, but it's also about living your best life. And for those most vulnerable older adults in our community who do find themselves victims of abuse or neglect, they too are just trying to live their best life and live beyond age, flip the script, raise the bar, whatever we want to call it. Just like the gentleman, his name is Bill, who was here over this past weekend. There were probably close to 500 athletes that participated in that in the games over the weekend, and just really showing how older adults can live their best life. And again, our Elder Abuse Coalition, we want everyone to have that opportunity to live their best life. And so you have the flyer from the Elder Abuse Coalition also in front of you, and it does highlight, just as already what's been mentioned, many of the partners who are part of that Elder Abuse Coalition. We also talk about our 3 work groups. And so our 3 work groups are kind of ending and addressing financial exploitation, creating and working on housing options for older adults, and doing state and local advocacy. And we meet the 3rd Friday of every month at 8 o'clock in the morning, a large group of us at Silver Key. Thank you, Mr. Jason DeBueno and the Silver Key staff for making that space available for all of us to do that. And all we would like to ask today is just to remember that all of our older adults in our region, many of us are in that category or very close to it, want to live our best life. We want to be able to do the pole vault. We want to be able to run the 50-meter dash. We want to be able to play pickleball like nobody else can. There were over 300 athletes in that pickleball competition this weekend. And again, really not very many spectators and no media coverage, but amazing things. And so whatever we can do to keep helping everyone live beyond age. And thank you for all of the folks who have been working on that already, and looking forward to continuing a great year of ending elder abuse. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that is wishing to speak on this item? Okay. With that, I'm going to go ahead and bring it up here to the dais for comments. Who'd like to kick us off? Commissioner Bremer?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I will kick it off with comments today. I just want to thank those of you who have dedicated a portion of your career to paying attention to those who are living beyond aging. And the tremendous work that's done both through our El Paso County office and as the Department of Human Services, as well as all of our partners, our nonprofit partners, our quasi-governmental agencies with the AAA. Jody and Melissa have done a tremendous job for years there. Jason with Silver Key. It really takes a village to ensure that we can ensure the health and safety and longevity and enjoyment of life of El Paso County citizens of all ages. And I'm just grateful. And once again, glad we could do this proclamation that raises awareness. That's the sole purpose. So thank you for being here today.
Commissioner Weislung?
Thank you, Madam Chair. One of the other things that's so important for the elderly is making sure that if they desire to be able to live their remaining years in their own home. And there's various services that are available to make sure their homes are safe. One of those in a prior life that I actually was able to do that. So it's make sure if you have elderly folks that their house and their home is safe.
Commissioner Applegate?
Thank you. I just want to say thank you this morning. Thank you to Commissioner Williams for reading that into the record. Thank you for the work that DHS does, Sheriff's Office, our different groups like the Silver Key Services offering to help, these elderly folks in our neighborhood. And so I appreciate that.
And traditionally here, we let the individual who read and sponsored the proclamation end the comments. So I will go ahead and make a few here as well, share a few of my thoughts. I am, too, very grateful for the services that we have here at the county and also community services. I think that's so important. But this morning, as I was listening to that proclamation, it reminded me of what my pastor said on Sunday. And that is that we talked about honoring your father and your mother and the promise that God gives us, that when we do that, things will go well for us. And it made me think about the fact that while we do have services, to make sure that no one falls through the cracks, that's our goal. It's a responsibility for each and every one of us, starting with our own parents, to make sure that they are safe, that they are well taken care of. I often have thought of this, and I tell my children, remind my children that they're supposed to honor their parents, but that goes on for much longer. And this to me is just a reminder of how, if we all take that responsibility seriously, there are far fewer folks that we have to look out for and serve, and we can focus on those who truly are the most vulnerable, who don't have folks in their life that will look after them. So with that, I will turn it over to Vice Chair Williams.
Thank you for being here. I'm always excited to sponsor this because this has affected my life personally. I will not tell my full story this year, but in 2007, we had discovered that my mom had given away many of my father's financial assets. They went from being poor World War, a poor Korean War married couple to a very wealthy couple to a very poor couple. The day my dad died, he had no assets in his name. So I say that because it's a very important when you hit a certain age, 40 or 50, to be sure to talk to your parents and say, this truly does happen. I had a friend who discovered her mom was writing out a $25 check to anyone who asked. The Republican Party, the Democrat Party, the Libertarian Party, and also every single charity in the nation. And it was books upon books upon books of $25 checks. That is not how our elderly need to be treated. We need to make sure as children that we look towards our elderly parents and talk with them about it before they turn age 65 or 70. It happens. Have them watch the first 25 minutes of The Beekeeper. It's a movie. It does get a little violent. So I wouldn't watch past that, but it does happen. It's very it's very scary, very frustrating, very hard to control. And so take the time to give your mom and dad a call today and ask them what's going on with their finances. Just tell them. If you need to call me, y'all can call me. I'll tell them my story. They won't believe it. And most people say it'll never happen to us, but it's better if you prepare for it so it doesn't. Thank you.
Okay, with that, I am going to call the roll. Commissioner Bremer,
Aye.
Commissioner Weissong,
Aye.
Commissioner Applegate,
Aye.
Vice Chair Williams,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. That passes 5-0, and we will take a brief recess for a photograph. I'll call this meeting back to order, and we are on item 7.
Item number 7 is the proclamation recognizing Flag Day and the 250th anniversary of the United States Army. Bill Wysong, Commissioner, Board of County Commissioners.
Commissioner Wysong.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The proclamation recognizing Flag Day and the 250th anniversary of the United States Army. Whereas June 14th is a day of national significance, as it is both Flag Day and the birthday of the United States Army. Flag Day, observed annually on this day, commemorates the adoption of the U.S. flag by the Second Continental Congress in 1777. 2 years prior, the Continental Army was formed on June 14th, 1775, by the Second Continental Congress as a unified army of the colonies during the American Revolutionary War, with George Washington appointed as its commander. And whereas we acknowledge the interconnectedness of the American flag in our military, with the flag serving as a powerful symbol of our nation, its values, and the sacrifices of those who serve to protect our freedoms. And whereas the flag plays a central role in local traditions and ceremonies, marking the beginning and the end of the duty day with the raising and lowering of the flag during reveille and retreat at Peterson Space Force Base, Schriever Space Force Base, Fort Carson, and other military installations throughout El Paso County. Reciting the Pledge of Allegiance is a standard practice at the start of El Paso County Board of Commissioners meetings as an expression of national strength and unity. And whereas when we raise the flag, we stand and salute or place our hand over our hearts, recall the fundamental truth upon which this nation was founded, that we are all created equal in that our government derives its power from the people. Now, therefore, the El Paso County Commissioners hereby proclaim June 14th as Flag Day in El Paso County and encourages citizens to observe with pride in all due ceremonial events honoring the American flag and the United States Army, to display the flag and to celebrate the ideals and principles it represents. Done this 10th day of June 2025 at Colorado Springs, Colorado, the Board of County Commissioners of El Paso County, Chair Geithner, Vice Chair Williams, Member Commissioner Applegate, Member Commissioner Bremer, and myself, attested by Steve Sliker, the County Clerk and Recorder.
Second.
Okay, that has been moved and seconded, and I believe we also have a speaker on this proclamation here today from Fort Carson, if you'd like to come forward. And please do introduce yourself for the record.
Good morning. My name is Colonel Eric Oxvald. I'm the Fort Carson Garrison Commander. First off, I want to thank the El Paso County Board of County Commissioners here today for including me in today's events and joining the Fort Carson and local Army community in celebrating the Army's historic 250th birthday. Many of you have probably heard of this, but it's important to remember that the Army is actually 1 year and 20 days older than the country itself. And the Saturday anniversary symbolizes not only the establishment of the U.S. Army, but it closely follows the 81st anniversary of D-Day. It's an opportunity for all to reflect on the 250 years worth of selfless service and sacrifice so many have made. And when I initially made the decision to join the United States Military Academy in 1996 and received my commission in 2000 as a young infantry officer, I did so in the hopes of honoring the legacies of the countless men and women who answered their nation's call, who fought for the very freedoms we so easily take for granted today. And I'm grateful to live here in Colorado Springs, where service is not only appreciated, but simply a way of life. In El Paso County, military veterans and retirees make up a large portion of this population. And while the battle over whether Colorado Springs is an Army or an Air Force town will always continue, what continues to blow me away is the resources and initiatives that are designed to support all service members, their family members, veterans and retirees in this great Front Range community at every stage of their career, making it no surprise as to why in the United States Army, we refer to Fort Carson as the best hometown in the Army. From the Revolutionary War to present-day missions, our soldiers have consistently demonstrated their resolve to defend freedom, both at home and abroad, as demonstrated in the Army's celebrated slogan of "This will defend." And this weekend, I invite all of you to enjoy the Army's birthday parade in Washington, D.C., where approximately 400 of our soldiers from the 4th Infantry Division at Fort Carson will be marching, some dressed in Civil War-era uniforms to honor the Army's rich history and legacy of service, sacrifice, and dedication. Again, I want to thank you all for inviting us here today. And for any veterans or retirees in the room, I just want to thank you all for your service, regardless of your branch. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm going to bring it up here. Who would like to kick us off on the comments? Vice Chair Williams.
I just wanted to say, first of all, I'm so thankful for our American flag. It's always wonderful to see it flying. I really enjoyed having my kids grow up in Colorado Springs because anytime we went to a band concert, they would always play the 5 military songs. And I got to the point I'd always stand up on Air Force because I didn't, my dad was Army, but I wasn't a branch. And we were heading out to Utah a couple weeks ago, and those songs came on the radio, and I started singing along, and I scared my husband when I got over loud. But I will say, I pulled up the Army song. This is pretty amazing. The third chorus, men in rags, men who froze, still that army met its foes, and the army went rolling along. Faith in God, then we're right, and we'll fight with all our might as the army keeps rolling along. The second chorus, Valley Forge, Custer's ranks, San Juan Hill, and Patton's tanks. All of those 4 battle sites, especially Valley Forge and Patton's tanks. My dad just loved watching Patton when I was a child. So I know almost that whole show as well. And just amazing, the sacrifices that our Army, our Navy, and our Air Force and our Marines, and our Coast Guard, and someday our Space Force will do make for our country. And I just wanted to say I'm very thankful for the Army today. Thank you.
Commissioner Bremer.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to say thank you to those who go through Fort Carson. Some stay, some leave, and certainly the leadership that continues to just be a huge partner in this community. I'm very grateful for the fact that that you're just so integrated, and there's a real effort. We are the best hometown in the Army. I would like to say also probably the Air Force. But I'm just really grateful for the partnership, and your being here today really just, it's incredible. And I'm so deeply appreciative of that. And you said service is a way of life, and you found your way to a community that knows what that means. We feel it every day. We do it every day, and we're doing it alongside you, cheering for all of you and welcoming your troops home. Certainly we'll be watching the parade, hopefully on TV this weekend, gratefully knowing that that still men and women sign up for a duty and take that seriously, really to protect us all. So just really grateful we could do this today. Thank you.
Commissioner Applegate.
So when I was working my maintenance job out at Fort Carson, one of the first places they ever sent me when I started in 2022 was the Stacks DFAC, and they sent me there that day on Flag Day, on the anniversary of the Army. And naturally, it's right before lunchtime, so we go out of the kitchen, me and my apprentice that I was working with, and we're sitting there, and it was quite the ceremony. I mean, they really rolled out the red carpet, and they really talked about like the history of the Army and the history of the installation and everything in it. And it was rather a cool experience, so something I'll never forget. So.
Thank you for being here today. I would love to challenge everyone in this room, if you do not already have a flag flying at your home, to consider doing that this weekend in honor of Flag Day. I know that I've seen a decline, though there are still many, many American flags flying in Falcon, but I have seen a decline, and I don't know that it's a decline of patriotism so much as we all get busy in our lives. And so I'd just like to challenge you all. If you don't have a flag on your house, if you aren't displaying it somewhere, to consider doing that in honor of Flag Day and encourage others in your neighborhood around you. If you've got a neighbor who doesn't have time, maybe you volunteer to help them put one up. I think that there are ways that we can all promote patriotism in our community. I know that the Falcon Wind is insane, and so mine has recently come disattached from my home. So I've got a new one sitting there, and I'm going to put it up this weekend. And then I also want to honor the celebration of the Army. So many of you in this room probably know, but my husband continues to serve in the Army today. He has been in the National Guard, he's been in the active component, and he is now serving in the reserves for over 20 years now. And it is something that is near and dear to my heart. I'm very grateful to those who continue to serve for what it means. It is the reason that I sit here today, the complete dedication that my husband and I both have to preserving this nation and what it stands for. And it is absolutely a part of what is a part of who we are and part of who we are as a family. So I'm very grateful that the Army has provided us a way to live that life out as well, and grateful for every single one of our soldiers who is serving today. With that, I will turn it over to Commissioner Weisong.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Learned early the respect for the flag, Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts, and it's tough to see a flag hanging incorrectly. If you're not sure, look it up. The flag actually, if it has gotten to the point where you no longer want to fly it due to its disrepair, I noticed the other day at Lowe's that they actually have a box that you can fold up the flag, deposit it, and they will dispose of it properly. So I was very pleased to see that that they're doing that, or contact a Boy Scout troop or something, because they'll actually perform a ceremony as they retire that flag. And then also for the 250th anniversary, father was in the Army along with my 3 uncles. My dad served in the 3rd Infantry Division, part of the Old Guard, guarding the tomb of the unknown soldier. And it was interesting stories growing up. And it was always something that when I finally got out to Washington, D.C. and observed that, knowing that, okay, many, many years ago, my father was actually guarding that tomb. The oldest uncle served with General Patton as G2 intelligence during the Battle of the Bulge time period, something that he would never talk about. And then other 2 uncles also served in the Army, not quite as distinguished. The youngest one I used to tease went in after World War II and enjoyed a couple years in France, not doing much from what he says. So with that, again, thank you very much, Colonel, for coming, and may we celebrate this day and Flag Day. Thank you.
Okay, I will call the roll. Commissioner Bremer.
Aye.
Commissioner Weisong.
Aye.
Commissioner Applegate.
Aye.
Vice Chair Williams.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. That passes 5-0. We will recess again for another brief photo.
I might vote no.
I'll call this meeting back to order, and we are on item 8.
Item number 8 is the proclamation recognizing Commissioner Cami Bremer's meritorious service to El Paso County. Holly Williams, Vice Chair, Board of County Commissioners.
I'm really honored to read this proclamation this morning. I move the following proclamation recognizing Commissioner Cami Bremer's meritorious service to El Paso County. Whereas Cami Bremer has earnestly served El Paso County and the Pikes Peak region since 2002. Finding her way from her home state of Georgia to Colorado shortly after graduating from college, she has worked in numerous roles, including Regional Director for the American Heart Association, Provider and Community Relations Manager for the Penrose Cancer Center, Director of Governmental Affairs for the Colorado Springs Chamber of Commerce, and Communications Specialist for the City of Colorado Springs. And whereas recognizing her broad experience in government, media relations, healthcare, and nonprofit management, and her passion for public service, she was elected by the citizens of El Paso County in 2018 and re-elected in 2022 to represent Commissioner District 5, which encompasses the center portion of the county, including most of the city of Colorado Springs. And whereas, upon assuming her seat on the Board of County Commissioners, she was appointed to represent the Commission on the El Paso County Board of Health, which, just a year later, was thrust into COVID-19 response activities. In this role, she stewarded the community through the pandemic with calm, measured, thoughtful solutions, advocating for local control with the state and ensuring businesses and schools remained open. And whereas Commissioner Bremer oversaw the complex process of allocating coronavirus aid, relief, and economic security, CARES Act, and American Rescue Plan, ARPA funds, deploying these funds strategically for both immediate and long-term impact to keep local jobs and the economy running, enabling our region to continue to thrive amid the crisis. And whereas in addition to her committed service on the Board of Health, Commissioner Bremer has served on the Colorado Department of Human Services Child Welfare Allocation Committee, where she has helped orchestrate cost-effective policies that serve families in need while incentivizing long-term, family-centered solutions. And whereas Commissioner Bremer has also served on the Colorado Springs Urban Renewal Authority, the Pikes Peak Area Council of Governments, Pikes Peak Workforce Executive Committee, and has held liaison roles among multiple boards. And whereas housing affordability has been among her major priorities, Commissioner Bremer has presided over the county's issuance of private activity bonds, cutting red tape to ensure housing units, including affordable housing units, can reach the market faster. And whereas in her characteristically steady, consistent, principled voice of reason, Cami has a keen sense of how to navigate difficult situations and conversations. She places a high value on asking the right questions, listening, and engaging in thoughtful discussions to arrive at sound decisions and better solutions for the citizens of El Paso County. And whereas approachability has been a key pillar in her leadership, she is often spotted at community events without a county name tag, wearing a ball cap, choosing to be incognito so she can more closely connect with the citizens she serves and hear their concerns. And whereas after a comprehensive national search, the Pikes Peak United Way Board of Directors has chosen Cami to serve at the helm of the regional nonprofit. Her continued service to our community in her new leadership role will benefit us immensely. And whereas Commissioner Bremer will conclude her service on the board and leave office on June 10th, 2025. Now, therefore, the Board of County Commissioners of El Paso County, Colorado, hereby notes the meritorious service of Commissioner Cami Bremer, proclaims its gratitude for her steady and focused leadership, and expresses its best wishes for her continued contributions to our community. Done this 10th day of June 2025 at Colorado Springs, Colorado, the Board of County Commissioners of El Paso County, Colorado. Carrie Geithner, Chair, Holly Williams, Vice Chair, Corey Applegate, Member, Cami Bremer, Member, Bill Wysong, member, and attested to by Steve Schleicher, our county clerk and recorder.
Second.
Okay, that has been moved and seconded, and we do have several folks here to speak. I want to let the room know that while we are limiting the comments at the podium today, as we have done in the past, for the sake of expediency, we will host a reception upstairs, where we will have an open mic that will also not be on the public record, so you may speak a bit more freely up there. But I believe we are going to begin with Ms. Crystal Lettier.
Good morning. My name is Crystal Lettier, and I have the pleasure of serving as the Executive Director of Economic Development here at El Paso County. It is my honor today to recognize and thank Commissioner Bremer for her 6 years of dedicated service to El Paso County. Commissioner, your commitment to this community has left a lasting legacy. From championing economic development programs that help our region thrive, to being a steadfast supporter of affordable housing through the El Paso County Housing Authority. Your voice has been one of care, strategy, and action. And families across our county are better off because of it. You have also shown us something even more profound: the power of a working mother who leads with both heart and conviction. You've balanced the demands of public service and family life with a grace that has inspired so many of us, myself included. There is a quote that says, "There is no greater challenge and there is no greater honor than to be in public service." Commissioner, you've met that challenge with excellence. You've honored the role with integrity, compassion, and determination. And of course, your Georgia roots have always shown through, whether in the warmth you bring to a meeting or the grits you shared at staff appreciation events. You've reminded us that leadership can be warm, generous, and deeply human. It is only fitting that your next chapter continues that spirit of service. As you fully transition into your role leading the Pikes Peak United Way, we know you will carry forward your passion for strengthening families and building community. Your continued leadership across the region is both a gift and a testament to the depth of your dedication to being a guiding light of service and positive impact. Thank you, Commissioner, for everything you've given and all that's still to come. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Miss Rachel Beck. Miss Beck here. Okay. Do we have Miss Jonna Kleemeyer?
Thank you, Madam Chair and members of this distinguished body. I'm Jonna Reeder Kleemeyer, and I have the pleasure of helping lead the Colorado Springs Chamber of Commerce and Economic Development Corporation. On behalf of Colorado's largest Southern Colorado's business voice, I want to say a huge thank you to Commissioner Bremer. It has been a pleasure and an honor to work with her in a time where divisiveness is often celebrated across our country. Commissioner Bremer stands out as someone with grace and poise and the ability to bring people together to find common solutions or common ground. While we are thrilled to be working with Commissioner Bremer in her new role, please know that we cannot thank you enough for your dedicated service to the public, to the constituents of El Paso County, and especially to the businesses that help create jobs in our great county. I also just want to add a personal note that it's really nice knowing someone else in the county that speaks Southern. So I appreciate that little piece of where we came from, but thank goodness we both found Colorado. Best wishes in your new endeavors, and you will be missed in public service. Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you. And we have Mr. Mike Suggs.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm here in place of Marla Novak from HBA, who is unable to join you today, so I'm sorry to disappoint. I am a member of the Housing and Building Association of Colorado Springs and on the Board of Directors, and I'm here on behalf of the board to thank Commissioner Bremer for her service to our county, but also to say, Commissioner Bremer, you have been an incredible partner and supporter of our association as we all pursue policies that support the production of safe and attainable housing in El Paso County. And so we are grateful for your service. We're grateful for your partnership. And we're really excited for the United Way because they're really getting a special leader. And so best of luck in your efforts, and thank you very much.
Jim Turbush.
Well, good morning, Commissioners. After listening to the proclamation and previous speakers, we're just about run out of superlatives. So I want to comment maybe a little more personally. I'm Jim Turbush. I had the honor of being able to serve on the Board of Health for about 10 years. And a number of those years, it was alongside Cami Bremer. So Commissioner Bremer, I just wanted to say thank you. And I am so grateful for your service on the Board of Health. You were always an island of calm during COVID that I could count on, and that your healthcare background was particularly helpful in that regard. I was always pleased when at a board meeting you had a comment to make, because it was spot on and it made a difference. Your suggestions and recommendations were tremendously important. And before making a decision, I would often look over at you for a nod or a wink to see if we were on the right track. And you don't know how much I appreciate that. We share the experience of a very premature son and all that entails. And we also share a belief that the God who loves us all is still in control. And again, I appreciate all that you've done for El Paso County, all that you will continue to do. And again, thank you, Cami.
Okay, and next we have DA Michael Allen.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And Commissioner Bremer, I just want to thank you for your selfless service. You've been on this Board of County Commissioners for the entire time that I've been the elected DA, and I couldn't have a better partner and supporter from the commissioners than what you've provided to us. And I'm glad Eli's here, because I'm going to say that I've always referred to you as the better Bremer. So you can take that home with you. You know, we've had some really horrific things happen in our community while you've been on the Board of County Commissioners. And obviously the thing that comes to mind for me most glaringly is one, what happened up at UCCS, and then also with Club Q. And you've been standing shoulder to shoulder with us at the DA's office through every step of the journey to seek justice. And I think you're the first commissioner that's going to get one of our new challenge coins today. And there's a Latin phrase on here that goes directly to what we do in the DA's office, and then I'll tie it into your support for us. And it's basically stolen from the military, but it says, seek the truth to punish the wicked. And that's what we do in the DA's office, but we could not do that job without the support of the Board of County Commissioners, but especially
during your tenure as a commissioner. I really appreciate everything that you've done to support the DA's office through the trying times and also the really good times, and just been there shoulder to shoulder with us as we've been on this journey together. So if I can, I'd like to approach and just give you this coin. Thank you.
Okay, and I believe we now have Miss Rachel Beck here with us, so we'll invite her down.
Good morning. Thank you. I'm sorry I'm slow. It's a long drive from Denver sometimes, as you well know. I'm Rachel Beck, and I've gotten to know Commissioner Bremer for, I think, about 20 years now. We bonded in the early days of our careers when we were just getting started in the government and nonprofit sector in El Paso County. And our love of books. The first time that I got to visit her in her home, she was very excited to show me her vintage card catalog, and I still lust over that thing. If you ever need to make space in your house, you know who to call. And I think, Commissioner, your background in the nonprofit and the healthcare worlds have made you especially qualified to be a commissioner. And in particular, Commissioner Bremer took a special interest in social services. And of course, as you all well know, that is a huge part of what El Paso County is responsible for. But a lot of voters don't know that, and a lot of candidates for the job don't know that. And so Commissioner Bremer, understanding that, was able to step in and tackle those weighty issues in a way that I think is really unique. And she also brought a conservative perspective to guiding those important services, emphasizing things like outcomes and the role of families in those services, and making sure that the services were being delivered and stewarded in a way that is efficient and respectful of community resources. And Cami, perhaps one of the things I admire about you the most is you have a gravitas and a calm that I really, really admire. And I think you've brought those qualities and a steady guiding hand to a lot of difficult and sometimes even volatile community discussions over the years. Things like COVID and election security, the big issues. You were absolutely the right person for the job of commissioner, full stop, but I can't think of someone who was better suited to have a leadership role during those extremely critical and difficult times. So for all those reasons, you have my respect and appreciation, and the respect and appreciation of the community. And so I thank you for your service and your dedication to our community. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much. And as I said, we're limiting to 5 speakers here today, but in this meeting, but there will be additional opportunities. So please do stay and speak upstairs. And now we will move to we need to take our vote first. So I will begin with, I'm sorry, we only said we were taking 5 speakers today, but you can speak upstairs at the reception. Thank you.
And I'll just go ahead and do public comment then on this matter, if I could. I know Ms. Folsom was supposed to speak, and I'm speaking on her behalf.
You can, but we haven't called public comment yet. So
Okay,
if you would
thank you,
let us
Commissioner
call the
Geithner.
vote. Thank you. So I'll begin by calling the vote with Commissioner Bremer.
Aye.
Commissioner Wysong.
Aye.
Commissioner Applegate.
Aye.
Commissioner Williams.
Aye, and I will say again, the United Way's gain is our loss.
And the chair votes aye. That passes 5-0. And rather than take a brief recess now, we are going to wait till the end of the meeting. We just have to finish up with those couple items. But Commissioner Bremer would like to speak.
Thank you, Commissioner Geithner. If I could have Blake pull up a photo I provided earlier, and if you were here at the beginning of the meeting, you saw a much older Struthers give the pledge today. And I'm not great at sitting and receiving attention just on me. But this and all of you are really what this whole journey has been about. And how much my son Struthers, I, and El Paso County have grown since my first swearing in. Now, in this moment of decommissioning, as I've called it this week, or swearing out, I have the opportunity to thank the community for showing me the indomitable nature of El Paso County, to do justice and to love kindness and to walk humbly with your God, which God requires us to do in Micah 6:8. I've seen this through fires, floods, bomb cyclones, and a pandemic, and several frightening crimes happening in our community. The capacity that this community has to be just, kind, and humble is my greatest takeaway. And thanks to United Way, I'm transitioning to an organization where what I've learned from you all and from this community can be put to good use to still serve this community. Our garrison commander earlier today, again, I'm going to repeat it. He said, service is a way of life here. That is who I am. It's how I've tried to take care of this community by serving it. And I'm so very grateful, and I could not have done it without every single one of you here and many, many others behind you, in front of you. I could not do it without my colleagues. I have the two I served the longest terms with here today. And certainly they will tell you there were times where we didn't all agree. But the honor of serving with you all, and for a short time, some longer than others, with those of you here is one of the greatest honors of my life. And I'm looking forward to continuing to interact in a different capacity and continuing to serve this community in a different way. Just really, really grateful and humbled. And I hope that I can continue to walk humbly and with kindness. Thank you for the kind words that were said today. They mean the world to me. Thank you.
And I will ask if there are any other commissioners who have comments, or you may reserve them for upstairs if you prefer.
I guess as the joke goes in Sleepless in Seattle, H&G, hi and goodbye. We were only on the board for 6 months together. So, but Cammie, honestly, best of luck in your future endeavors, and don't be a stranger. Come around and say hi to us. I hope to see you at the events. I hope I catch you out and about in the public. So,
Mr. Weissong?
Thank you, Chair. Commissioner Brimmer, it has been a very short few months, so a lot of conversations that haven't taken place, but again, congratulations as running another large organization.
I will just add my thanks as well. Commissioner Brimmer and I have not always agreed on everything, but I am very grateful that we learned to work together on the things that we were both very passionate about, and grateful that we were able to serve in both the chair and vice chair and reversed during these last few years. We wish you the best and look forward to saying some other things upstairs. Commissioner Williams.
I just wanted to say many of the comments that Crystal Letier made were just the comments I would make. We have a saying around here around 2 o'clock, if we're in a long meeting, we do tend to get a little punchy. And sometimes some wisecracks come out that shouldn't. But Commissioner Brimmer always had the ability to pull us back together and really get to the heart of the solution so that we could get through whatever presentation we were going through. She is a person of conviction. I wanted to say on behalf of Ingrid Mobley, who just left 2 weeks ago, Ingrid just loved it because Commissioner Brimmer would come in, she was our scheduler, and she would sit down and just ask how she was doing. And that was it. Then they would go through Commissioner Brimmer's schedule, and Ingrid just really, really appreciated that about you. So thank you. And I really wish that you were still serving on the CWAC. That's a very challenging committee for me, a lot of math and numbers. That is one of our DHS committees. And you are warm, generous, and deeply human. It's a privilege for me as the longest serving commissioner. I was very honored that you asked me to read the proclamation. And I think Cammie got sworn in about 2 minutes before I did. So now I can be for the next 18 months, the longest serving commissioner. So thank you, I appreciate it. And you will be missed.
Thank you. Okay, we are moving to item 9.
Item number 9 is comments by elected officials and commissioner liaison reports.
Okay, I'll start with county elected officials in the room. So I'm looking at the DA and I see no comments. Mr. Schleicher, no comments. Is there any other countywide elected official in the room that I'm missing? Okay, I don't see anyone. So Commissioner Bremer.
I think I've said plenty today.
Commissioner Wysong.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Again, it's with sorrow seeing you go, but it's the future will be very bright for you. Had a real busy last week, and those that don't know, we've got a real gem in Colorado Springs with the Catalyst campus. Was able to tour that, and it was really incredible. Also attended the Manitou Springs Town Council meeting, got up to speed on where they are, try to at least hit the 4 towns that are part of my district, at least every couple of months, if not a quarter. And something that was really special, and I'll just leave a little bit more for Madam Chair to speak about it, but being able to attend the groundbreaking for our sheriff's substation. This week, just have some PPACG that looks at what our future, where our communities are going, parks. And Friday should be very interesting with the Air Force Academy tour, which is going to be a privilege to be able to go on that tour. Thank you.
Commissioner Applegate.
Thank you. So we were at CCI conference last Monday through Wednesday, me and Commissioner Geithner, Commissioner Williams as well. So I think it was good to connect with our other commissioners from across the state. I actually sat in on a class about nuclear power, and Senator Larry Liston from here in town, he had actually proposed a bill, went all the way through the State House, got signed by the governor, and relisted nuclear as an alternative or clean energy for the state. On Thursday was our employee picnic. It was good to see, drawing raffles and having the employees win some prizes and just thanking them for all their hard work. Same day, I was also able to catch a 81st anniversary of the D-Day commemoration out at Fort Carson, so it was good. So General Doyle sends his regards. And for Friday, we were at the groundbreaking for the Sheriff's Office substation, and that was quite the leap. That was pretty awesome that we're able to, for the Falcon and like Peyton area out east, we're able to have a substation out there now for our police, for Sheriff's Office. So, and right next to the fire station, to that matter. Thank you.
Vice Chair Williams.
Yes, I have my usual stack of meetings this week. I enjoyed Colorado counties last week. I was unable to attend the sheriff's substation groundbreaking. I will just warn my residents in Black Forest, you might want to start practicing slowing down, because it's really easy to speed there, but that station is going to cover Black Forest as well. Thank you.
I'm going to make my comments very brief here, but also say thank you to the Sheriff's Office for that tremendous groundbreaking and everything that is happening to better serve our residents. And yes, it will serve Falcon and is located in Falcon, but it will also serve so many of the surrounding areas, make it easier and more accessible for our sheriff to get out to that eastern side and even that northeastern side and the southeastern side. So it's going to benefit far more than just the Falcon residents itself, and I'm incredibly grateful for that. I also would be remiss if I did not mention that this was a partnership that included Falcon Fire, who donated that land, and it really is a testament to what can happen when we all work together to make good things happen. So with that, I will move forward to item 10.
Item number 10 is community service organization reports, and there are none.
Item 11.
Item number 11 is public comment on items not scheduled on the agenda. And Madam Chair, I'm unaware of anyone signing in ahead of time to speak, but I am aware there is one person that would like to be called in.
Okay. I will just remind you that this is public comment on items not on the agenda, and I'd ask you to respect that if you are here for Commissioner Bremer, please refrain and have your comments upstairs since we are trying to stick to our schedule. And while we are working on our in-person, if we could go ahead and call in our online person. Thank you. Please do state your name for the record.
Good afternoon, Honorable Commissioners. Diana May. I know Amy Folsom was signed up to speak for one of the 5 individuals for Commissioner Bremer, but she had an emergency that took her away from work. For those of you who don't know, Amy was the appointed county administrator for years and the appointed county attorney for years. She's asked that I read this on her behalf. And so it says, "Hi, Cammie. I'm very
Ms. May,
sorry I could not."
I very respectfully ask that this item has already been dealt with on the agenda, and it would be unfair because there may be others who want to speak. Public comment on items not scheduled on the agenda. This was a scheduled agenda item. Would you please hold your comments still upstairs so that we can be respectful?
Okay, then I will go ahead and speak, I guess, just as an elected official under the elected official. I'm a government elected official.
Ma'am,
if
there
that's okay.
there is not a place for that. We had countywide elected officials that spoke. We have finished that. I would ask for you to be respectful of the process here today and speak upstairs at the reception. We'd love to hear your comments there.
Okay. I apologize, Commissioner Bremer. I know Amy wanted me to share this, so thank you. I would be happy to share it up there, so thank you for that suggestion.
Thank you so much. If we could go to the person online.
Report on COS Reads. I want to let you know that our tiny independent library, Reading at the Vox, is doing really well, more than we expected over in the northwest part of the city. Our programs are increasing. More people are coming to enjoy it. We started a summer reading program that when they sign up, they get a Wendy's Frosty and there's more prizes. We're having a really good time out there. But we are filling the void that was left by the Pikes Peak Library District. And of course, we wish that we had a Pikes Peak Library District in our area. So because of that, we want a Pikes Peak Library District Board of Trustee that will be able to address today's challenges. We want a strong financial background and that they understand the Tabor laws. This is so important. We want them to be able to prioritize equal access to libraries throughout the district. Not just our area, but all areas. We want them to be transparent in their dreams for Pikes Peak Library District, not someone who holds them to themselves like holding their cards. We want someone that's transparent and shares their ideas with everyone. We want them to have time to attend Board of Trustees meetings. So they're someone that we always see at those meetings. We want them to have a strong interest to look into any issues that come up and that they listen to all sides of the issues. We hope to see a joint appointment committee that shows these same ideas, the same true team spirit that works together, that is willing to hash out ideas together and decide together what they want. So anyway, I thank you very much, Cammie Bremer. I wish you the very best in your future. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like to speak on an item that is not on the agenda? Okay, item 12.
Item number 12 is the called up consent calendar, and there are no items called up.
Item 13.
Item number 13 is department and committee reports, non-action items, and there are none.
Item 14.
Item 14 is the addendum, and there are no addendums today.
Item 15.
Item 15 is the executive session, and there is no request for executive session.
Okay, with that, we've come to the end of our agenda. This meeting is adjourned.